Augusta National Golf Club, April 9th, 1995. The 18th green, Ben Crenshaw sinks his final stroke, then collapses to his knees, face buried in his hands. Tears stream down as his caddy, Carl Jackson, wraps him in an embrace. Hours later, draped in the iconic green jacket, Ben tells the world something that defies logic. "I had a 15th club in my bag today," he says, voice breaking. And that was Harvey Penick. In golf, players carry 14 clubs maximum, no exceptions. So who was this mysterious 15th club? And how did an invisible presence help beat the world's best players? Austin, Texas, 1960. A small boy walks into Austin Country Club with his father. Harvey Penick, the club's head professional since age 19, watches this 8-year-old approach. Harvey hands young Ben a cut-down mashie, a 7-iron shortened for small hands. He shows the grip once. Ben's fingers fall naturally into position. Harvey's eyes widen. This is rare. The boy swings, sending the ball 75 yards onto the green with effortless rhythm. Harvey smiles. "Now let's go to the green and roll the ball into the hole." Ben looks up, confused. "If you wanted it in the hole, why didn't you tell me the first time?" That innocent question revealed everything. Ben saw only the target, not the complications. Harvey knew immediately. This child possessed something unteachable. Over 3 decades, Harvey would guide Ben, but never change him. His philosophy was simple: never force a student into rigid patterns. Never overthink the swing. "Take dead aim," Harvey would say. "Trust yourself." He taught Ben the dying roll, where the ball arrives at the hole with perfect speed, giving luck a chance to work. Harvey told Tom Kite, Ben's rival, "I'll see you on the practice range." But to Ben, he'd simply say, "Just go play." The difference was intentional. Tom was the grinder who built his game through relentless work. Ben was the artist who felt the game through his soul. Ben Crenshaw, at age 15, walks into Harvey Penick's pro shop. A Wilson 8802 blade lies among other clubs. Simple, elegant. Ben picks it up, waggles it gently. Something feels different. "Dad, I'd like to have it," he tells his father, Charlie. $20. That's all it cost. Charlie Crenshaw later said, "It was just a club in Harvey Penick's shop. Ben felt it and waggled it around for a while. That club's been the best provider in the family." Ben named it Little Ben. For 4 decades, this club would become an extension of his soul. Then came an accident that created magic. At the Greater Greensboro Open, Ben stumbles walking off a green. His metal spikes scrape the club's flange, creating 2 random nicks. Those marks land exactly where Ben strikes the ball. An accidental alignment guide. Perfect. But their relationship wasn't always gentle. Ben once admitted, "It has been up in the air a few times. It climbed a few trees." At the 1987 Ryder Cup, in a moment of rage, Ben slammed Little Ben into the ground. It snapped. He finished the match using a 1-iron on the greens instead. The nickname Gentle Ben sounds warm, affectionate. The truth? It started as mockery. Local sports writer Dick Collins coined the term after a television show about a gentle bear. But Ben Crenshaw was anything but gentle when frustrated. He was a perfectionist who burned inside when shots went wrong. Colonial National Invitation Tournament. After a disappointing round, Ben unleashes a karate kick at a metal trash can. The impact fractures a bone in his foot. Worse, the injury goes undiagnosed for years. He plays through pain, limping, his game suffering silently. Then came the playoff losses. 8 of them, 0 wins. The worst playoff record in PGA Tour history. 1979 PGA Championship. Ben reaches sudden death against David Graham. He loses. His best chance at a first major, gone. 1975 U.S. Open, hole 71. Ben hits a 2-iron into the water, loses by 1 stroke, misses the playoff entirely. 1979 British Open, hole 71 again, double bogey, finishes second behind Seve Ballesteros. Masters runner-up, 1976. 1983, always close, never quite there. The media labels him a talented tees. The expectations crush him. Not winning a major for my first 11 years was difficult to accept, Ben later admits. You start wondering, and it gnaws on you, no question. By 1984, at age 32, doubt shadows every swing. Masters Tournament, final round. Ben Crenshaw stands on the 10th green facing an impossible task. 60 feet separate his ball from the hole. The green slopes viciously, breaking in multiple directions. He studies the line, breathes deep, strikes. The ball rolls, curves, bends with the contours. It tracks toward the hole like following invisible rails. It drops. Augusta National erupts. Ben pumps his fist, releasing 11 years of frustration in one explosive moment. The momentum carries him. Hole 14, another crucial stroke from 15 feet downhill. Ben barely touches the ball, letting gravity do the work. It falls. Walking up the 18th fairway, one stroke ahead, Ben finally allows himself to believe. This is Bobby Jones's tournament, his hero's tournament. When the final ball drops, the curse breaks. Ben wins his first major championship. Later, voice thick with emotion, he says, "It was such relief and joy. It was something my father and I could share together." His little boy had just won the Masters, the finest tournament we knew. I won Bobby Jones's tournament. Big Charlie Crenshaw, watching from home, cries with pride. His son, at last, is a champion. Victory should have launched a golden era. Instead, darkness crept in. Mid-1980s. Ben's body betrays him. Graves' disease attacks his thyroid. His metabolism spirals out of control. He loses 20 pounds without trying. Energy drains away. Focus becomes impossible. 1985, he earns only $52,000, a devastating drop for a reigning Masters champion. Treatment begins. Radioactive iodine, months of medication. Slowly, his body stabilizes. 1986 brings recovery, $380,000 in earnings. The comeback seems complete. But by early 1995, the magic fades again. Ben enters Masters Week ranked 69th in his greatest skill, reading greens and rolling balls. For the best short game artist in history, this statistic is humiliating. Meanwhile, Harvey Penick lies dying. March 1995, Harvey, now 90 years old, can barely leave his bed. His book, Harvey Penick's Little Red Book, published 3 years earlier, became a bestseller. Sports Illustrated called him the Socrates of the golf world. 2 weeks before Masters, Ben visits his teacher one final time. Harvey, propped against pillows, asks Ben to retrieve a club from the garage. With trembling hands, Harvey checks Ben's grip, just as he did when Ben was 8. "Just trust yourself," Harvey whispers. Those would be his final words of instruction. Days later, New Orleans, the week before Masters, Davis Love III needs victory to qualify for Augusta. Harvey, in his hospital room, follows the broadcast. When told Davis won, Harvey claps twice, smiles. That's great. Then he closes his eyes. Harvey Penick dies April 2nd, 1995. Sunday night before Masters Week, Ben and his wife Julie dine at Augusta National Clubhouse with broadcaster Pat Summerall and club chairman Jack Stevens. A waiter approaches Julie discreetly, hands her a folded note. Her face drains of color. She takes Ben's hand, leads him onto the porch. For 15 minutes, they hold each other and cry. Harvey is gone. The funeral is set for Wednesday. Opening round is Thursday. Ben must choose. There is no choice. He and Tom Kite fly to Austin immediately. Wednesday morning, rain pours over Austin. Ben and Tom, pallbearers, carry Harvey's casket. Ben would later say they carried a very light box and their own heavy hearts to the grave. After the service, Harvey's son Tinsley approaches Ben, holding his father's wooden Gene Sarazen blade. "Dad would want you to have this." Ben flies back to Augusta late Wednesday night, physically and emotionally depleted. He hasn't practiced. His game was already struggling. Now this. Thursday morning arrives. Ben steps onto Augusta National's practice range. Something shifts. Julie notices it immediately. There was this calmness to him all week that I have never seen before. Ben feels it too. It was kind of like I felt this hand on my shoulder, guiding me along. His caddy, Carl Jackson, offers a technical adjustment. Move the ball back slightly in your stance. Combined with Harvey's final words, trust yourself. Something clicks. Ben pins a green ribbon to his cap. A quiet tribute. Round 1, 70. Solid. Round 2, 67. No mistakes. He moves within 2 strokes of the lead. Round 3, 69. Sunday, he'll be tied for the lead with Brian Henninger. All week, strange things happen. Balls bounce favorably. Difficult shots find perfect angles. At hole 2 in the final round, Ben hits an 8-iron from under a tree. The ball kicks off a mound, rolls to 12 feet. Julie, watching, thinks to herself, Harvey bounce. At home in Austin, 81-year-old Big Charlie, Ben's father, watches his television, tears already forming. He knows something extraordinary is unfolding. 4 rounds, 72 holes, not a single 3-stroke on any green. This statistic seems impossible at Augusta National, where greens run faster than anywhere in golf. Ben entered the week ranked 69th in his specialty. Now he plays flawlessly. Something beyond skill is happening. Final round, Sunday. Ben stands at hole 12, Amen Corner's treacherous par 3. His ball lands in the bunker. From sand, he executes a perfect save, securing par. The momentum holds. Hole 13. His second shot disappoints, leaving a difficult approach. But Ben recovers with a bold birdie stroke. 14 under par now. Then comes hole 14. That 8-iron from under the tree, the one that kicked off the mound perfectly, Julie whispers to herself, Harvey bounce. In Austin, Charlie Crenshaw watches through tears, sensing his son is being carried by invisible forces. Hole 16 changes everything. A par 3, 170 yards. The pin sits back left, water guarding the front. Ben aims right of the hole intentionally. The ball lands, then curves down the slope exactly as planned. It stops 3 feet away. Birdie, 14 under par total. Greg Norman and Davis Love III, who'd made 11 birdies between them with 0 bogeys through 15 holes, both falter here. Love later says, sometimes you wonder if things are meant to be. Hole 17. Ben faces a 12-footer for birdie. It drops, 15 under. Hole 18. His approach leaves him short. He strokes carefully, makes bogey. 14 under par, final score. 1 stroke better than Davis Love. When that final ball falls, Ben bends at the waist, covers his face with both hands. Carl Jackson reaches him instantly. They embrace, both sobbing. Ben can hold nothing back now. Every emotion from the week, from 35 years with Harvey, pours out on Augusta's hallowed ground. Butler cabin. The green jacket ceremony. Ben's eyes remain red, tears still fresh. He faces the cameras, struggling to find words. I had a 15th club in my bag today, he says, voice cracking. And that was Harvey Penick. The room falls silent. Everyone understands immediately. I don't know how I got through the week. I really don't know. It was an emotional week. This place charges me up like nothing. The 15th club wasn't steel or titanium. It wasn't a secret weapon or advanced technology. It was something far more powerful. Belief, love, and 3 decades of accumulated wisdom. Harvey had taught Ben not just technique, but philosophy. Not just how to strike a ball, but how to live with grace under pressure. Trust yourself wasn't merely advice about golf. It was a life principle. In the weeks following, Ben receives thousands of letters, not from golfers, but from teachers, students, children who lost parents, employees remembering bosses who believed in them. I've gotten the darndest letters you've ever seen from people who don't play golf, Ben recalls, but who wanted to tell me about a mentor they had and for whom they had also been able to do something special in return. Harvey's presence that week proved that the strongest bonds transcend physical death. A teacher's influence lives forever in the student's heart, mind, and muscle memory. Every stroke Ben made, Harvey guided. 1999, the Country Club, Brookline, Massachusetts. Ben Crenshaw, now captain of the United States Ryder Cup team, faces disaster. After 2 days, Europe leads 10-6. The American team, favorites on home soil, is collapsing. Media skepticism fills the press room. Saturday night, Ben steps to the microphone, exhausted but defiant. His eyes carry that familiar certainty, the same look from Augusta 4 years earlier. He points his finger. I'm going to leave you with this thought, and then I'm going to leave. I'm a big believer in fate. I have a good feeling about this. Most consider it desperate optimism, self-delusion from a sentimental captain. Sunday morning, Ben invites Texas Governor George W. Bush into the locker room. Bush reads from letters written during the Battle of the Alamo, invoking the never-surrender spirit of Texas. David Duval leaps up, shouting, "Let's go out and kill them!" The Americans win the first 6 singles matches. The impossible comeback gains momentum. Then comes hole 17. Justin Leonard faces a 45-foot stroke for birdie. Jose Maria Olazabal still has a chance to tie. Leonard strikes. The ball rolls, drops. Chaos erupts. The American team, wives, caddies rush the green in premature celebration. Controversy explodes. Olazabal must wait through the mayhem before attempting his stroke. He misses. America wins 14.5 to 13.5. The greatest Ryder Cup comeback in history, complete. Ben later reveals something haunting. 31 years earlier, age 16, he came to Brookline for the U.S. Junior Amateur. There he learned about Francis Ouimet, who in 1913 won the U.S. Open with a decisive stroke at hole 17. Now Leonard's decisive stroke came at that same hole. I truly believe there's an aura across the 17th green, Ben says quietly. Fate, once again, had found him. Ben Crenshaw's trophy case holds 19 PGA Tour victories, 2 Masters championships, and a World Golf Hall of Fame induction in 2002. But his true legacy lives elsewhere. With partner Bill Coore, he designed over 25 golf courses worldwide. Sand Hills in Nebraska, Kapalua Plantation Course in Hawaii. Their minimalist philosophy honors natural landscapes, preserving golf's golden age spirit. Ben mentored Jordan Spieth before Spieth's 2015 Masters victory, sharing Augusta's secrets and Harvey's wisdom. He led the Save Mooney campaign, protecting Lions Municipal Golf Course in Austin, where integration occurred peacefully in 1950. He supports the First Tee, introducing golf to underprivileged children. The mentor became the mentor, the student became the teacher. Masters 1995 taught the world that golf's greatest victories aren't won with equipment or athleticism alone. They're won with heart, faith, and the invisible hands of those who believed in us. Ben once wrote, "The ball which arrives at the hole with perfect speed has an infinitely greater chance of falling in from any entrance." Harvey Penick taught me this. This is what he meant by giving luck a chance. Sometimes the most powerful club isn't in your bag, it's in your heart.